The highest my blood pressure was maybe 170 over, it was over 100 on the bottom level. I just had it taken the other day, and I think I was almost perfect. I was 120 over like 80, but the 80 I think is kind of okay because I'm old. So I love it. I was first diagnosed with high blood pressure after I finished I had pancreatic cancer, and I had about a year of chemotherapy, and that's where, poison runs through your veins. And then I had the surgery and kind of recovered, and one of the side effects of all that chemotherapy was high blood pressure because the veins, and I'm old, so the combination of those two things, for the first time in my life, I had high blood pressure. That was almost 15 years ago. And before that, I had very low blood pressure. So something had to be done. And the first thing we did was I had some medication from my doctor. But one of the things that happened is because of my sort of low blood pressure, I was starting to when I would stand up, I would kind of get dizzy and pass out. So it was just not working really well. So he said, go to your heart doctor and do all the tests and everything else, and we'll see exactly what's happening with your blood pressure. So that's exactly what I did. I went, and he said, oh, you have a unique type. You have what we call high-low. That when you're sitting like this, you will have kind of normal blood pressure. But when you stand, your blood pressure drops. And that's when I was getting a little dizzy. So he said, we can't do medication for you because it just, it causes too much of a drop. And he said, let's see if we can treat it with other kinds of things. So I've always been exercising a lot. I've always run a really good diet. I've done meditation kind of off and on. And so there wasn't, I kind of didn't know where to go. How do I deal with it? As I was leaving the doctor's office, there were those little things that are set up that have the brochures in them. And I took it home, and it was this little thing called RESPeRATE. And I didn't know what that was, but I was motivated because there wasn't anything else left. So I ordered it, and it came, and I kind of fixed myself up and put the earbuds in and everything. And it sounded to me, in the way that I talk about it, there's a little man inside the box, and he talks to me. And he says, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. And it was easy. The hardest part of it is insisting to myself that I do it every day. Because like any other habit that you try to form, or that I try to form, I can put it off. And so I really had to get diligent about myself and to make sure I was doing it every single day. And I wasn't always perfect, but I really, really was committed to it. And I was fascinated because the little man in the box, he knew when I was kind of dozing off and kind of maybe not, and he would talk to me, tell me, come on back, or something. I don't remember exactly what he would say, or you're breathing too fast. Slow down, slow down. The main concern that would have prevented me from buying RESPeRATE was its cost. It's expensive. And not knowing for sure that it would work. And also, with like most of us, we buy the latest toy and then we don't use it. I mean, I could say that also about a lot of equipment that I've bought, exercise equipment that have sat here and got dust for a long time. So I would say that the cost would have been maybe a minor barrier, but I was so motivated. Well, if I were to recommend RESPeRATE to my best friend, which I have several times, the main thing I would say is it works. And it's hard to explain. That's the only difficult thing. And when I talk about you strap things here and you put something in your ears and the little man in the box, and it's hard to explain. So at times I've lent it to friends, but not too long because I'm afraid they won't get it back to me in time. I would wish that there was a place that they could practice it before they buy it. But I would say the main thing I would tell them is it works, and it's under your control.